This is like the third time. What do you mean one time? Okay, so we're going to talk about how to adding and subtracting. So you need to make sure when you're adding and subtracting radicals, so adding and subtracting, radical, you need to pay attention to like radical. Pay attention to like radical. So, what do you mean by like radical? So, for example, if you got 3 square root of 2 plus 2 square root of 3 and then plus 4 square root of 2, can I add all the radical together? So, pair, right? So just kind of like this, kind of like when you look at if they have like radical, it's like term. So like in this case, it's technically read as like this. For x. Think about square root of 2 is x. Think about square root of 3 is y. Can x plus y? No. Because they are not like radical. But those two are square root of 2 and 4 square root of 2. You can add those two together. So that's going to be 7 square root of 2 plus 2 square root of 3. Just like this one is going to be 7x plus 2y. So 7x plus 2y.
That's the answer.
Yes, answer, because you cannot simplify anymore. So those are the things that you need to make sure you understand. Roots is also important. So if you have this, the third roots of 2, right, plus 4 third root of 2 plus square root of 2, let's say 4, let's say 5, sorry. You have to pay attention to here. What's like radical in this case?
So which two? What's that?
They all have 2's.
No, the two cube.
Cube,
Yeah.
right? So those two are like radicals. So there's some term called like radical. And what I mean is had to be exactly alike, even the indices. So even the roots has to be the same. Now those two are not like radical. They can never add and subtract together. So now in this case, when I add those two, what am I gonna get? 5. Why 5? 1 here, right?
Yeah.
It's invisible, but doesn't mean it's not there. It's like 1x, 4x equal to 5x.
Yeah.
But x plus 4x is also 5x. Therefore, those two can add together, and there's a 1 in the front. Don't forget 1 because that 1 comes in handy. That 1 plus 4 is going to be 5. So it'll be 5 third roots of 2. Now this one's different, so plus 5 square root of 2. They cannot add them together because they have different indices. Okay? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 in here today. And we're going to go over all of them. And then hopefully you understand what's going on. But any question about what I did here? This is what we did. It says only radical you can add them together is like radical. Radical does not add them together. Square root 2 plus square root 2 does not give you square root 4. A lot of people tend to do that, but drive me insane when they do that because that doesn't work. It's something called like radicals. Question about this part?
No.
Let me erase it, okay? So we're going to go over this 5 question. You can start off. Those of you guys know what you're doing. And if you're like A student and B student says, I want to get a head start between 1 and 2, you can, you should. So I'll give you like 2 minutes to get a head start if you know what you're doing. Hold on a second. This one is 3. this is a 3, this is a big 3. This is a big 3 as well. So okay, pay attention to the index. So I just make 2 mistakes right there, right? I write down the 3 kind of small. It looks kind of like index. So don't get confused between the index, which is root, and the coefficient. Coefficient in the front is much bigger, so I had to write it much bigger. So let's start with the first question and second question. Those of you guys know what you're doing, you can get a head start. Those of you who don't know what you're doing, just don't do it. Wait until we go over it, and then we'll give you another set of problems that you can do. Yes. Oh. Just write it down and I'll sign it. Write it down. Write it down. So, are they like, that's the first thing you should ask yourself, right? So it's not those things. Keep on writing too small, so I'm gonna make sure I write it big. Plus 3 square root of 54. Are those like radicals? No, not yet, right? So the question is probably not yet. So then you say, okay, well, can I simplify that? Can I simplify those square root of 24 and 54? So I can break down the 24, right? That's going to be 2 and 12, and then 2 and 6, and 2 and what? 3, right? And this is the same thing, 2 and 27, 3 and 9, and then 3 and 3. So how many 2 I can take it out? One group of 2, so that's going to be 2. Square 6, because this one has no friends. And if I got 3 here, that I'm going to get what? 3. That 3 I can take it out, but square root is 6. So then therefore you're going to have 2 square root of 6 plus 9 square root of 6. That's equal to 11 square root of 6, right? And that should be the first one. If you did it right, you know what you're doing. Question about this part. Just simplify the radicals. I'm going to go to the next question. Again, you can get a head start if you keep on going, just keep on going down. That's okay. If you know what you're doing, all you got to do is go back, double check answers, and understand this. So that 2 is going to be out. This 2 is going to be right here. Can you erase it? Yes? Everybody understands this? Okay, so now we're going to go to the next one, the third roots. Again, third root of 24 minus 4 to the third root of 81 plus third root of 3. Then I'm going to break down more, so in this case it's going to be 2, 12, 2, 6, and then 2 and 3. So I can break up 1, 2. 81 is going to be 3, 27, 3, and 9, and 3, and 3. So you can break up 1. Does this make sense? Understand? Or no? So what am I gonna get when I am here? AJ? What am I gonna get here?
Just 3. No, 2. No. Just 3. Inside the square root.
Not square root, it's cube root.
Oh, sorry.
And outside. Does this make sense? You're gonna take the 2 out. There's 1 survivor.
Okay.
What's happening on the next one? 4. What do you can take it out?
You can take out
3. So that's 3, right? It's multiplication, not addition. And then you got a 3 right here. So it would be third root of 3. And that plus third root of 3. That's equal to 2. 2, third root of 3. Minus 12, third root of 3. Third root of 3. Do they have like radical now? Okay. 2 minus 12 is what? -10. But don't, you still have here, this is 1. So it's going to be, this 2 minus 12 is -10. -10 is actually -9 to the third root of 3. That's my final answer. Don't forget about this last one. There's still a 1 in the front. If you need to write 1 in the front, like write down 1x, and write down x, because 9x plus x is equal to 10x. 9x plus 1x is also 10x. So if you want to write down that 1 to help you to understand, that's fine. Question about this part?
How did you write the 3 and the 3 radical, the index 3?
I did. This is index 3. Radical.
Yeah, but why did you write after every integer? Like after the 2 and after the 12?
Oh, because the question starts with the index. The question starts with 3 and index. So every time I should keep the same index. And I have to go by the index to decide how many per group to get out. So in this case, index 3, then that's 3 per group to get out.
Yeah. Okay.
Or you can do cube root of 8 times 3, cube root of 3 times 2. But cube root of 8 is going to be 2. Question about the second part? No? Okay, let's go to the next one. Again, you can start early. I'll give you a 30-second head start. Try to do things by yourself instead of me helping you. So again, this is 3 is the coefficient, not the index. So if I give you 30 seconds, you should be able to finish this problem. If you cannot, then we'll go over it. Do they have the same like radicals? Can I add? No, 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 right? But we can make it the same. So we can say 3 and 25, and then 5 and 5. So I can take out 5. Does this make sense? So it'll be 5, 3x. Minus 3, 9, 3, 3. I guess 3 times 3 to the 3x equal to 5 square root 3x plus 9 square root 3x plus 2 square root 3x. That's going to be 14 plus 2. 16 square root 3x, I think. Question about this part, yes?
Why is it plus 3 times 3?
Because every time you count, it becomes multiplication, not addition. Because technically you have 3 square root 27x, then that's equal to 3 times square root of 9 times square root of 3x. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Because 9 times 3x is 27x. And this 9 is going to be 3, so it'll be 3 square root of 3x. So that's equal to 9 square root of 3x.
Why not minus on the top and the
Oh, my bad. this one's a minus, this one's a minus, and it's gonna give me what? Negative 4?
What? Again, 5 times 4.
Minus 9 is a negative 4. Okay, negative 4 plus 2 is what? Negative 2, 3x. Thank you. So yeah, pay attention what you copy down. That way you don't make a mistake, and which is I did. When you go to the next one, you get a head start. 3 to the 81, x to the 4th, plus the third roots of 3x to the 4th. You're back.
They didn't let me stay because I had to stay 15 minutes.
Okay. Okay. So I can take out a 3, 27, 3, and 9, and 3, and 3. So I can take out 3. I can take out x as well because x times x times x times x. I can take out one group of x. So that's equal to 3x, and inside is going to be 3x. Does that make sense? Plus, I can take out one group of x because it's x to the 4, so it'll be x to the third root of 3x. Now they have like radicals, so it'll be 4x third root of 3x. And then you're done. Does this make sense? If it doesn't make sense, let me know. You have a test either on Thursday or on Friday. And the test will be, half is going to be same as last quiz, and the other half is going to be radicals.
Wait.
Okay? So we're going to talk about the next one. This is a case that I have fraction, but there's nothing to be afraid of. Nothing to be afraid of when you have this case. Again, you don't have like radical, but the first thing is to simplify the radical. What is square root of 28? 2 and 14, right? And then 2 and what? 7. Can I take out a 2? So then therefore it's going to be 2 square root of 7 over 3 minus square root of 7 over 4. Can those two add together or subtract together? No. What do you need? Common denominator. Again, if you realize that we've been doing the same thing to rational or numbers or things like that, later on we're going to, with recap, we have to do it with sine and cosine, the same idea, just over and over and over again. So if you multiply this, I need to make sure LCD is going to be 12. I need to make sure this side is 4 by 4, and this is 3 by 3. And then 4 times 2, now this means 4 times 2, so it's going to be 8, but not square root of 28, but square root of 7. Outside by outside, inside by inside. Does that make sense? So this is a 4, and 2 is outside radical. You outside multiply by outside, inside by inside. The inside there's no square root of 7 on the other side, so this will be 8 square root of 7 over 12. And this part is going to be 3 square root of 7 over 12. Now they have same denominator. Can I write in one term?
It's minus 12.
Minus, thank you, keep on. Minus, right? So that's gonna be minus 3 square root of 7. Now they have like radical, can I add and subtract? Yes. So that's gonna be 5 square root of 7 over 12. And then you're done. So you can have a fraction. On your homework, you can have fractions. The last one, I have third root of 6y of 64 plus 3 third root of 6y. Now in this case, the same thing is going to be 6y third root of 64. You should know what is third root of 64 by now.
4.
That should equal to 4, thank you. They have a same like radical, but the problem is what? Denominator, right? This is over 1, so you cannot add those two together. So you have to make sure that this side is multiplied by what? 4 over 4. So you have a same denominator. So same denominator is going to be third root of 6y over 4 plus 3 to the third root of 6y, and 3 times 4, that's going to give me 12 over 4. So in this case, it's going to be 413 to the third root of 6y. I'm going to give you a new set of questions for you guys to try, and you're going to help each other out. If you need help, you can go to certain people. Jose is one of them. Samila is another one. Carrie and Brian. Those of you guys should be in charge. So I'm going to give you a question. I'm going to give you several questions. You can check with those students. Those students are going to get it right much quicker than you are. Uh, 45, sorry. This one's 45, so that's the first question. 2, 34 minus 5 third root of 16 plus the third root of 2, 3, 2, square root of 9x plus square root of 72x, 4, third root of 48x to the 4 plus third roots of 6y to the 4th, 5 45 over 4 plus square root of 5 over 3, and you can check the answer with the other one. 6 is going to be 7x here, 8 to the third roots minus 2 to the third root of 7x. Okay, I'll ask those individuals to help you.
It's fine.
Two, 3 times 2, 8 square root of 5. It should be 8.
That's not the answer, that's the second one.
The first one should be 8 squared.
I got it right, Jose didn't.
The boss.
Huh?
Show him who's the boss.
Ha. Ha ha.
Okay. Sometimes I make a mistake too. But AJ, you make a mistake, Brandon. So.
Okay. So the ones in the pair, one is 8, so.
No.
No, remember, so the one that escapes is going to
Well, at least what I did was I
The
just
5 is
did
the
add,
inside.
and I pushed it down something.
Yeah, the ones that escape are on the outside. Oh, wait, which one are you doing?
8, I get 8, I got 5.
That's their answer.
I don't know.
No, just, it's 5.
I feel like I got it right.
Right down to 5.
Is the correct answer.
No, that's not what I got. How do you get 8?
What's the answer for the first? Yeah, like you.
It's the 8 square root.
So
Yeah,
it's
it is.
so
You got it wrong.
So I got it, but he got it wrong
square
too.
root. You did.
But
You
how
said
did you say it?
no, I'm sorry.
You got the right
Yeah,
answer,
square
though,
root.
but how do you
That's
get
where
it?
I missed it.
Yeah.
Because 6 plus 2 is 8.
Oh, you're supposed to add.
6 plus 2. 6 plus 2.
Plus 33.
6 plus 2 is that 5.
And then the same.
Answer negative 6. What's 3 times 15? Do it. Right here.
And negative 7 plus 1.
Oh. Yes. They were smart.
Yeah.
This is working. Yeah.
I'll see.
It's not like.
Don't let a woman boss you around. Told her to come here.
No.
I was kidding.
Wait, do we add them or do we multiply them? I multiply them.
So any numbers.
Okay, then wait, I messed up. Yeah. You messed with multipliers to that.
And how you get
So it's
So when you take out a radical, it becomes multiplication.
yeah. No, or did I put? Okay. Okay. So the two is.
Yeah, I did five. It is a minus. Oh, then you just multiply 1 I thought 8 times 7 is 6 plus 2. Yeah, why didn't you try it?
And then 6 plus 2.
Technically, we have the same last name.
Alright, you said Trevor, speak it. Alright.
Huh?
Alright. You said Trevor,
No, it's not actually in Chinese. But
No. Are you down?
you know, I haven't watched Yip Man. You never see Yip Man? You like? You never watch Yip Man? No. Huh? You never watch Yip Man? Yeah. No. It's a movie.
How am I gonna know my phone's out the window?
Yeah.
Isn't it too loud?
One announced that.
I can just throw away Neela's phone without throwing your phone. Otherwise, Neela's gonna say I'm racist. Better go get your phone.
Yeah, I gotta go first.
Negative 6 to root 2.
Thank you.
Still a little bit, guys. I know.
My phone's down here.
By the time I come back here, you guys should be out of here.